Transportation produces almost 30% of all United States' global warming emissions. Cars and trucks emit about 24 pounds of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases for every gallon of gasoline used. As sustainability gains more traction in the context of higher education, Colgate University has started to change its practices in order to become more sustainable. In January 2009, Colgate signed the American College and University President's Climate Commitment, setting a target of carbon neutrality for 2019. What does this mean for Colgate? Along with the carbon offset program, Colgate has adopted many projects that work to reduce our carbon footprint and ultimately become more sustainable. Reducing gasoline consumption will be a major part of Colgate's attempt to become carbon neutral by 2019. So let's take a look at our transportation fleet.
Our vehicle fleet, we have, over 90 vehicles, and every, drop of fuel that we use to power them contributes to our campus carbon footprint. So at some point we have to figure out what to do about that some point soon because our carbon neutrality date's in a few years.
The Colgate vehicle fleet consists of 95 vehicles. There are 22 student and faculty vans, 68 building and grounds vehicles, and 5 campus safety vehicles. These vehicles are responsible for about 400 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions per year. That's about 2% of Colgate's total emissions. While this number may seem small, there are only 2 hybrid electric vehicles in the entire fleet, so there are a lot of opportunities to switch to more fuel-efficient vehicles. This will help to mitigate the fleet's carbon footprint. Let's take a look at how Colgate gets these vehicles in the first place. Colgate recently entered a contract with Enterprise. Enterprise is one of the largest car rental companies in the world. So, the head of buildings and grounds and the purchasing director come together to determine which vehicles are best for the fleet. Considering Enterprise is so large, they're able to provide almost any car that Colgate requests. After Colgate purchases the cars from Enterprise, they typically operate on campus for 2 to 3 years, and then at the end of their use, Enterprise will sell the vehicles for us. So if it makes sense economically and environmentally, Colgate should start asking Enterprise for more fuel-efficient vehicles to replace the conventional vehicles that are not as sustainable. At this point, the environmental benefits of electric and hybrid electric vehicles are well known and hard to ignore. Fuel-efficient vehicles don't use as much gas to travel the same distance as conventional cars with internal combustion engines do. When we burn less fuel, we emit less carbon dioxide. When these emissions go down, Colgate is that much closer to reaching their carbon neutrality goal. Because the environmental benefits are a given, it's important to look at the economic costs and feasibility for the university. To do this, we looked at a lifetime total cost analysis of all the different types of vehicles. A lifetime total cost incorporates all cost categories, including societal, environmental, and economic costs of operating the car over its lifetime. While the majority of our project focuses on the vehicle's lifetime on Colgate's campus, in order to be truly sustainable with our Colgate vehicle fleet, we need to think about the environmental, economic, and social costs of the entire lifetime of the vehicle, not just its impact on Colgate's campus. The lifetime total cost analysis looks at conventional cars with an internal combustion engine, all electric cars that are battery-powered, and hybrid electric vehicles that have a combination of these functionalities. The car decides when to use the gasoline engine and when to use the battery. Simply driving the vehicle recharges the battery. So taking a look at every type of car, we find that when assessing the lifetime total cost, including ownership and emissions associated with these vehicles, hybrid electric vehicles are the most cost-effective solution. Cost effectiveness is just one part of why we think hybrid electric vehicles are the best solution on this campus, and not all electric vehicles.
The winter time when I need to fire it up and thaw out my windows and things like that, I just don't think that they're anywhere near what would be able to be powerful enough and have the longevity that we need.
There are a lot of reasons why all electric vehicles don't make sense for Colgate's fleet at the current state of the technology. A lot of vehicles in the Colgate fleet are vans and trucks that require lots of power to carry heavy equipment.
I think the biggest issue that I have with an electric vehicle in this area, and they've come a long way with them, don't get me wrong, and you think, well, electric cars got a 90-mile range, but the issue is we're not going 90 miles, but we're up and down this hill 10 times a day, hauling, I probably have 1,800 pounds of stuff in my truck that's with me all the time.
However, there are many cars in the vehicle fleet that don't need as much power and size, which is why we think smaller passenger cars should be replaced with hybrid electric vehicles. This is not to say that Colgate should dispose of all these vehicles immediately. However, once each car in this category is up for replacement, Colgate should ask Enterprise for hybrid electric vehicles. Let's take a look at a few examples of hybrid electric vehicles that we think would be suitable replacements. Here's the Toyota Camry Hybrid, the Honda Accord Hybrid, and the Ford Fusion Hybrid. All of these cars are comparable in performance and would be a great addition to Colgate's vehicle fleet. Given the current fleet, there are 93 fuel-inefficient vehicles being used. Whenever and wherever it makes sense, these cars should be replaced with hybrid electric vehicles. Let's start with the most feasible option, which are smaller passenger vehicles. Let's encourage Colgate University to start transitioning to more fuel-efficient cars. After all, if it makes environmental, economic, and societal sense, why not? As of today, hybrid electric vehicles make the most sense for this campus.